Okay, hello to anyone who's here on the Google Hangouts for Peeragogy in Action. And today we're going to be with Julia, who's going to be talking about teaching the teachers. So we'll wait for her to join us in just a few minutes. Teaching the teachers. So how do I invite? Charlie. Paula. Okay, can I invite her? How can I invite more? Okay, well, Julia should be with us shortly. And until she arrives, I'll describe a few things about the Peeragogy project from what I understand. I'm a relative newcomer. I've been with the Peeragogy project for about 7 months now, I think. I'm a contributing editor to the Peeragogy Handbook, and it's a fascinating project. One of the main things that I get from the project is that it's a fascinating way of looking at how people can work together to learn something as peers without a really strict structured teaching atmosphere where you have a hierarchical situation where the teacher gives their knowledge to the students and then quizzes the students on whether or not the students have understood the knowledge that the teacher is trying to hand down to them. Whereas peeragogy, on the other hand, is non-hierarchical, and although it is organized, and although you could consider that there's a syllabus which is constantly being rearranged and examined, and although there are systems of assessment, and the systems of assessment are basically whatever the peers who are trying to organize, whatever they're trying to organize, decide it will be the completion of a project or the completion of a new roadmap. And a roadmap, from what I understand, is a little bit like what you might say a basic curriculum might be, or a basic syllabus, depending on the size of the project, kind of an idea of where you want to get, what your goal is, and how you're going to get there. And it's agreed upon by all of the participants. The roadmap is something that is also subject to change, like anything in the pedagogical structures. As you're moving towards the project, new things come up that you hadn't anticipated, which always happens in life. And so then you change the roadmap a little bit according to the new issues that have come up. You also have individual projects in pedagogy, and they can range from anything, any sort of teaching project. That's the field I come from, currently working in publishing, but I've spent decades in teaching. Or they can be projects associated with environmental management, where, for example, another project I'm currently working on is trying to inform the public of, and also trying to curtail, the growth and development of invasive plant species here in New England. And the weed that I'm working most with is bittersweet. So in a pedagogical sense, I didn't know anything about this plant when I first arrived from abroad 3 years ago. I learned about it from working in a group of people who were maintaining a natural reserve around here. And two of the people in that group are very, very knowledgeable about plants. One of them is fascinated by what you can cook from invasive species, and was recently talking about a restaurant, I think in Florida, where that restaurant specializes in invasive species, which is a pretty good way of eradicating them. And another member of that organization here in New England that I'm a part of, that has taught me a lot about invasive species, is incredibly knowledgeable about the ecosystems around here, the history of the invasive species, and how they became as prevalent as they have. And she's very optimistic because it's only been in the last 10 or 15 years that people have become aware of just how dangerous the invasive species are for the local ecosystems and for human health in general, given that complexity is a recipe for health. It's very dangerous to have one plant or one animal dominating an area. In the case of invasive species, you end up with problems like erosion and salinization of the groundwater. You end up with limiting the number of insect species, butterfly species, bird species, animal species, etc., all down the line when one plant takes over and dominates the other, as is the case with bittersweet here in New England. So Julia should be joining us any moment, and her take on peeragogy today, again, will be teaching the teachers, something I worked on for years when in Spain. I missed that aspect of my job. And maybe someday I'll get back into it. But right now it's invasive species and working in caretaking of my elderly parents. So Julia shall be here in a moment. And I'm learning a lot about Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and cancer. Other aspects of peeragogy, which I found particularly interesting, are, let's see, there's the roadmap, the heartbeat. The heartbeat is a fantastic part of peeragogy, and that is basically based on the idea that people are often drawn to something which creates and which is rhythmical. And the heartbeat is the idea that when you work together, it's important to meet from time to time. And if you meet at a weekly or monthly, so long as it's periodically and somewhat predictably, then those meetings, from what I understand, could be regarded as the heartbeat of the peeragogy project. We meet here on every Monday from 1 to 2 Eastern time. And Charles Danoff, who is in Chicago, is organizing Monday mornings at, I believe it's 9 o'clock, for people who are living in, mostly I think we're concerned about people who are living in Asia and the areas with the opposite time zone, more or less, from what we have. So that's the heartbeat. Scrapbook is the part of the peeragogy in action, where you put ideas ideas that everybody's come up with, but you're not sure what to do with, and also ideas that have been tried and they're being put to the side for the time being because they're patterns which are no longer helpful or useful, or because they're or because you haven't had time to try them out, or there's something that's interesting and you could use at some point, but you're not quite sure. So you put them in the scrapbook. I'm thinking of the patterns that have been established for peeragogy, and I'm trying to remember all of them. There are, I think, 6. Newcomers and onboarding, that's another area of peeragogy, which is really interesting, which is basically associated with how to help people enter into the peeragogy project, to understand what it is and what they can get out of it and what they can give to the peeragogy project. We're working right now on version 3 of the Peeragogy Handbook. I don't have a copy of it here, and it's been a project that I started working on with Charlotte Pierce. She's been working on it for a number of years with Joe Cornelli and Charles Danoff, and a whole bunch of other people who are really wonderful. I really like everyone I've met here on the Peeragogy project. And the handbook has, as I understood it, been a really nice way of solidifying exactly where peeragogy in action is going. There's another area on the internet where everyone meets, aside from these Google Hangouts, which is the heartbeat. The handbook, we're working on a workbook as well. And then on the platform GitHub, Peeragogy in Action is divided into lots of different areas. We're working digitally on continually informing what peeragogy is. Okay, I'm going to try to see if I can get a hold of Paula in another way. It's possible she's on a broadcast as well. Looks like watching podcasts. Hi, Julia. Julia? Okay, Julia was on with us for a moment, but it seems as though she's having technical problems, and so she's off again. I hope she joins us again in a second. Oh, here's Julia again. Julia, can you hear me? Julia, can you write in the box? Julia is trying to hook up with us, but she seems to be having problems. So I'm telling her how to get the message box up, which Charlotte taught me a little bit ago. And if you hover the cursor over the left side of the screen, of the Google Hangout screen, then you select first box, the first icon, which is a blue message icon. And you click on it. And a message box will appear. Oh, great, 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 great. Can you hear me? I'm trying to brainstorm. Why? Hi, Julia. Help me here. Can you? Eden? We're having some technical problems, unexpected technical problems, and we're sorting them out now through the message box. Julia has left the chat again. Oh, and she's back again. Great to see you. Oh, you don't see me. Oh. That's odd. Okay, thanks. Thanks, can you hear me? Oh, gosh. Okay, we're working on technical Julia, can you hear me? Or are we just communicating? Mention Julia or email her the link. Okay, Julia, I'm going to mute myself. She has come onto the Hangout several times. She comes on and comes off. Okay, I'll try to email her the link again. Shoot, lost the link now. Okay.
Hi, I don't hear you.
Okay, now you can hear me?
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, great, fantastic.
I have brand new, how is the name of this head?
A headset?
That's it. Thank you.
Well, fantastic. I was trying everything to connect with you. I couldn't figure what was wrong. And I've been texting, I've been online here on the Hangout, entertaining people who are trying for over half an hour now. So I'm very happy you're here. Okay, we're here now with Julia. So, okay, great. Fantastic, Julia. And you're going to talk today about teaching teachers? Julia?
Well, yes. I will love to talk about this project. That it will be perhaps a paper or a course
Okay.
Just to know how to is it a course for teacher to in order to teaching them to use educational technologies.
Okay.
Well, this is considering that the technological advances in education and in peer collaboration and in many other theme. This project came out from the need that it was created in the process of teaching and learning.
Okay.
That leads us to change the current educational system, I think.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
And that's well, that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I will love if we well not today. I will try to invite some more people that are interested in this subject,
Okay.
and see if well the problem is the language, but anyway I will try to
What's
invite some
okay? Have you
people.
Charlotte has just texted me. Have you invited other people to this hangout, or are you thinking of future hangouts?
I'm sorry, but you are too loud. Just wait a minute.
Okay. Okay.
A ver. Now?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Is that sound better? No.
no.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. This is okay. Now? Hi.
Okay. How's the sound now? Is it any better or
Yeah,
not?
that's much better.
Okay.
That's
All right.
much
Great.
better.
Okay.
I have to figure it out. This new computer and my
Mm-hmm.
my head, whatever.
Okay. Okay. So Charlotte has just texted me. She's off. Her daughter is learning how to drive now. And she was wondering if you invited any more people to this particular hangout, or if you were thinking of inviting people to future hangouts, or both.
Both.
Both. Okay, great.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yes. We
So,
can. Well, we are not in a hurry,
no.
and this is something that I consider it's very very necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to think and to comment with others, other professionals with their own point of view, and then take some conclusions. But I would love to hear other professionals in educational technology.
Mm-hmm.
Developer, researcher, designers, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and
Uh,
when you're talking about educational technology, are you focusing mostly on different platforms? Are you focusing on devices? Are you focusing on where's your focus?
Good question. Good
Mm-hmm.
question. Well, I focus this in order to the teacher acquire some skills to
Mm-hmm.
let technology into the classroom. Okay,
Right.
they need to have the basis skills. I mean, to know what to do with a blog, or know how to build a blog with WordPress or Blogger, or some things so so basic but they really don't know.
Right.
So
Okay. So, for example, could you be a little more specific? What kind of skills are you talking about that teachers don't have or don't know that they need?
uh, well, um, there are a lot of technology that will enhance the learning and teaching and learning
Right.
methodology, because we have so many technologies that we can have a flipped classroom, or blend the classroom, or use synchronous and asynchronous feedbacks, and well, we can do lots of things to in order to engage and motivate our student to use in a right way the tools they have, because I would love the teachers to know how to use device in classroom. You know, how to
Okay.
use the tablet or cell phone or other device,
Mm-hmm.
plus the computers always, and well, and to teach teacher also. So basic things like to use the digital blackboard, for
Okay.
example.
I have to say that for me, when I was using the digital blackboard, it was easier than trying to use an iPhone or a BlackBerry, just
Mhm.
personally, and it just happened to be the system that I was a part of. But I'd be curious to know which devices teachers have the biggest problems with, because I remember with the digital blackboards, for example, there were 4 or 5 different systems. I can't remember which system we used, but I was really lucky because we had some fantastic technological expert teachers who were
Oh,
choosing the system. But which, when you're working with different teachers, so you're talking about using devices, using tablets, using smartphones, and using
yeah,
digital blackboards. Are those the 3 main devices that you can? Oh, and computers, computer rooms.
with computer, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but not everything you can. Let's see. There are some tools.
Mm-hmm.
It depend on what item are you teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So there are so many apps that they have to use and to realize what they need, because they have to have a goal before begin to use the tablet or the smartphone in class.
Okay.
And this is not it's not an easy way to do it. All the teachers I know
Mm-hmm.
is they when the student go into the classroom, they take away the tablet, and because neither the teacher or the student know how to use it in an educational way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Uh,
where do you start? Do you find that teachers struggle more with the manipulation of the devices, or more with knowing the platforms like Edmodo or EduTech or any of those?
yeah.
Like what are your favorite platforms for using in class, and why? And where do you find teachers struggle the most?
Well, I really don't know, because that's something that I will like to talk with you all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really very sure
Mm-hmm.
about that item.
Okay. Okay. And the project
So,
that you
I don't want to say something that then I will. Oh no, it
Yeah, no,
wasn't
I
that.
know. Well, this is Peeragogy. We're all learning, and I kind of miss Spain. I really miss Spain a lot, actually. And so I'm really interested to talk with you about what the current
Uh-huh.
situation is in terms of using technology in the classroom. I know that when I left 3 years ago, it was really an up and coming issue, and
Hmm.
there were quite a few teacher training programs on which focused a lot on digitalizing the classroom and all of the different things that you could do in that. Oh, I'd love to speak Spanish to practice if you would like, but if you want practice speaking English, we can do that.
Yes, I need to practice. I need to practice
Okay,
English.
I figured that.
Yes,
Let me know
because
if I'm
I
speaking
talked
too quickly.
to no one here. I don't even speak Spanish because I live in by the countryside, and I'm
Hmm.
kind of isolated. So,
Which area are you in?
but this is Castilla-La Mancha.
Oh, okay, so you have the pure Spanish where you are.
Yes,
Okay, great.
that's right. And well, I was thinking, what can we do in
Hmm.
this group? And I think that there's some point that I have in the Google Doc.
Hmm.
Do you have it? Do you?
Not right in front of me, but I can call it up.
No, well,
Mhm. Okay, no, I've been, my partner is really sick with cancer, so I've been really busy with that, and I haven't been following anything that's that has been taking place on any of my work right now. So I saw that you posted a few things, but I just haven't had a chance to follow up on them. So could you describe to me a little bit what it is?
What is this? What?
What was in the Google Doc, and what are the parameters of your project that you're working on
Oh,
right now?
yes. Well, I'm thinking that if today we work with artificial intelligence or augmented reality or simulation or many apps that allows us not only to design courses, but also perform many collaborative actions that allow the student to improve their learning.
Okay.
And then we have to teach them how to properly use tools that they found on the net, such as educational games, for example. There are lots of educational games for music and first grade, or for literature, English literature, and fifth year or grade or whatever. So there is too much. Sometimes I have to see lots of videos until I find one that is just perfect to show what I mean with my speech. So this technology allow the student to improve their learning.
Right.
But the thing is, we have to think about teachers,
Right.
because the vast majority of teachers and students worldwide, I'm sorry to say, do not know how to use educational technology in the classroom, and for the end to be a digital citizens, I think.
Right. And what would you say are the most important facets of like what's the first step that you would take to address this problem, this gap that you see in digital knowledge and the use of digital technology in the classroom? How do you?
Yeah. Well, that is the course, and I'm not going uh, to talk about content, but I want to talk about how are we going to let's arrive this knowledge to student. I mean, I think that I really don't know, but we have to decide that. For example, I was thinking, and that my main problem is that to engage teacher to take this course, okay, because they don't want to. They don't want to. There are lots of well, they have no time. They are well paid. They are older. They think that not all of them, even the young one, think that technology is nothing that it really have to do with them. I mean, I was telling you the story that this school that has all the device and everything, and they use the digital blackboard as a screen projector for their teacher PowerPoint presentations.
Right.
So I was thinking in that the way to arrive to teacher, one way, that's what I'm imagine, that can be to go directly to the group that are going to prove this tool. I don't want to arrive there because what I said before, weeks ago, I say that perhaps we have to force in some way the teacher to learn. But force is a big word. And so I don't want to use it. So I was thinking that perhaps as a strategy, or sorry,
Yeah, go ahead, Julia.
yeah, just present this project to a school, for example, and just tell them that it is to test it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they will be more. I think mm, they will not be so close to,
Yeah,
to to try, because even if they fail, they don't. It will nothing. It will nothing happen.
right.
And
And
then excuse me, but and then the first class is a little bit of having a test uh, to measure how to what they have learned and what they know as a summative assessment,
mhm.
and going and in this nice way, and let try to them to do some work like when we are there. So a face-to-face class at the
Right.
beginning to
Hmm.
in order as a strategy to let the teacher get away of their you know frightened, or
Right. I think
I don't know.
what would be, I think in my experience of working with teachers, because I did quite a bit of that, um, that it always helped me when I started by finding out what the teachers were good at, because everybody's good at something different. Maybe somebody's good at classroom management, and another person's really good at working with literature. Another teacher might be really good at working on credit synthesis or something like that, where they have to work together between disciplines. And so I found that what was really successful is getting the teachers together in the first couple of classes and having them learn from each other about what they're good at. And so then we started off with the position of confidence, and self-confidence I found was really important. And then the teachers were really open to learning from one another about the different technologies that they use. Because the thing that I found a little overwhelming is there are so many different technologies, there are so many different devices, and there are
Yeah,
so many different platforms. And so I found that teachers were asking me for advice on which platforms I found the most useful for which functions. And so a lot of my
yes,
job was trying to find out which platforms did work the best
yes,
for me, and also becoming aware of what I was good at and what I wasn't good at, and realizing that for me, there are a lot of teachers, my colleagues, I really miss them because I learned a lot from from working with other teachers who had, we didn't all use the same platforms. A lot of us communicated through Edmodo, but again, I've been out of the teaching field for 3 years now, and I don't know if that's been replaced by another more effective platform, but it worked really well for us. But then within that, I mean, a lot of us used YouTube, a lot of us used Edmodo, and Pinterest was starting to be a really effective tool. But everybody had their own platforms that they worked on, and we would get together every now and again and share information about the platforms. Oh, and Twitter,
yeah,
another one that
that's right.
so
But
mhm.
yeah, um,
So I'm trying to understand, Julia, what
yes,
your
go on.
project is like, because I'm not I'm still a little bit unclear on what this course is that you're thinking of offering. How many hours is it? How many weeks would it cover? What are the objectives?
No,
Or maybe we could start with saying, what would be your ideal situation for technology in the classroom?
That's it. That's it. That's why I don't want to talk about a course.
Okay.
I will love to talk about tools and my major challenge
Okay. Yeah.
to have teacher learning how to be a teacher in this century, and they have to know that there are, for example, many platform, and they know that they have to study those platform and decide what it's going to use, because not everyone is good for everything,
Right.
and
Right.
not all tools are good for everything also.
Right.
But the teacher has to know and to realize which device or which platform or which hardware they will need.
Right.
Yes, but well, the most important in this case is that they have to have a basic learning skills, but they also can go on doing research about this, what they need, and but between them, I want to enhance the collaboration. I was thinking in an exercise, for example, just in case we have a course, okay?
Mhm.
And I was thinking to first to do a summative assessment,
Mhm.
and with a Google Doc questionnaire,
Mhm.
and this will well have the normal yes or no, do you do something, yes or no, what is your level, and then they have to write why they are there, and to think in a positive way uh, what technology can do for them. So they will do it in a Google document, for example, and each one can write their conclusions, and talk about the visions of the other point of view, uh, and well, then discuss it, comment it, and collaborate between them in this Google document. It is not, they really don't realize what they are doing, a collaborative job.
Mhm. And Julia, a question for you. What tools have you found really helpful for you in terms of collaborative teaching? What tools have
Well,
you used that work well for you?
normally it's I use just a few.
Okay, that's fine.
just
Which
just
everybody
the
has their
one,
little
yeah,
toolbox.
just the one I need to.
Okay, and which ones
Okay.
do you like?
I use, for example, Moodle platform, since
Okay, and
the platform.
can you describe that and how you use it?
Oh yes. Well, I knew that I have to go on learning, and so I took a course of how to administrate Moodle,
How to administrate what?
the Moodle
Okay.
platform.
Oh, the Moodle
You know,
platform. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
yes, and then to design courses in that platform.
Okay.
And well, I don't. I can't say that I know it perfectly well, but
Okay.
because if I need something, I'm searching how to do it.
Okay. And what would you
Yeah.
say, what are the benefits of Moodle? Or what if, I know what Moodle is because I worked with it a little bit, but for those who might be listening who don't know what Moodle is, what is it? How would you describe it? And what is it about it that you find useful?
Well, it is very useful for the course because it has well, the last version have been developing and adding new technologies,
Okay.
and
Are you still good? Yeah. Mhm.
so now, for example, Moodle, we can use external tools into
Okay.
Moodle.
Okay.
For
So for
example,
example,
for example, Eval Comics, that it was a web page to where you can have ideas about assessment,
mhm.
and there I use it as a tool to evaluate my students. So,
Okay.
but before the last version, I have to include Eval Comic and into my as an external tool. Now, Eval Comics, it is into the Moodle platform.
Okay.
You see, so that's improvement. When
Mhm.
gamification began, for example,
Mhm.
well, they had budget, and so I did work with budget, and in some ways, in order to them to work
Okay, I have a
collaboratively. And
question. I'm not familiar with budget unless you're talking about accounting. What is budget another tool that you're referring to? I'm
no,
unfamiliar with it. You're talking about
but
accounting.
it's about no, but it's what we are using in gamification.
Okay.
And
Um,
so that's is just a little part of the gamify the course, you know,
okay.
because if they get you can give a budget because that was the person that have more posts in the forum, and posts that really are, I mean, they say something to
Okay.
their other student, to their classmate. And well, there's lots of things that we
Okay.
can do.
So budget, is it spelled the same
It's like it's
B-U-D-G-E-T?
budget, just budget.
The same spelling?
Yes,
And
it's
so it's
just, yeah,
so
the
let me
idea
clarify
is,
because I'm not really clear. I'm just trying to clarify. So it's a system that you can use in order to keep track of the students who contribute the most and the highest quality to the whatever platform that you're using, like the blog or the wiki or the Google Docs or whatever you happen to be using. Is that what it is? Do I understand or am I confused?
yes,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
by budget, it is what I mean, it's something that you put on to show, or you put in the blackboard to show this is the winner of the budget this week on that matter.
Okay.
And so that's it's just a little bit of the
I'm gonna mute
sorry.
myself for a second. Okay.
Yeah, no, no, it's just to use a little bit of game mechanics. Are you all right? I don't hear you.
I muted myself for
Ah,
a second because
ah,
when I cough, it's really loud on the Hangout. I have a pretty bad cold. Okay, so other technological tools that you found particularly useful are you working with other teachers collaboratively at this point? Are you, or have you worked on collaborative projects with teachers, or are you planning a collaborative
No.
project with teachers?
I have been working as an independent researcher, a consultant,
Hmm.
all my life.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Uh,
So that's why I'm so interested in work with pedagogy. You know that I insist and I insist because I want to learn how to do it, because I
mhm,
really don't know. I really don't know. I have been working by myself. I do everything. As example for Moodle,
mhm,
I download the software, administrate it, design it, and well, I do everything with the platform.
mhm,
You know, because I don't. If not, I will have to have many different professionals and
mhm,
in different things. You know,
mhm.
and
Okay.
that's well what I do with Moodle as an example.
Okay,
Well,
great.
but I will love to try other platform, and I have been researching on other platform, but I really want the free ones,
Okay. And have
with
you
open source.
and have you found any good ones that you like different aspects of?
Well, Edmodo is it's okay, it's okay, but the thing is that I have to read more about, because now I have something to see Edmodo versus Moodle, for example, what they does, what it doesn't does, and that take a lot of time,
Yeah.
really.
No, I remember I just started using Moodle before I left Spain, and I haven't had time to look at it since. But I remember it was quite a complex platform, and there was really a lot that you could do with it. And Edmodo for me was a lot simpler to use. It reminded me a lot of Facebook in a lot of different ways, and it was just a really simple way to communicate with other teachers about projects that you were working on and to collaborate on projects.
Hmm.
But again, that
Well,
was 3 years ago, and I haven't looked at either of them since, really. Um, but I'd be interested to know what other platforms people are using.
hmm.
And are there other people who work in, so to clarify, you're working in educational research, is that correct?
Yes, by myself.
Okay. And are there other people working in educational research who would be interested in working on Moodle with you that might be interested in collaborating?
I really don't know,
Mhm,
because Fabrizio, he has his own project, and Federico Monaco, that we have had a project together.
mhm.
He has his own project too. So I'm the only one in this project.
Oh,
But
I see. Okay.
we can find some more people that want to give their ideas, point of view, and enhance this project on
Yeah.
how to do to engage teacher, or
Yeah, I
how to
think,
teach teacher.
yeah, yeah. No, I remember one of the things that I found really challenging when I was working and teaching was, I think that, as a teacher, you have your little toolbox, and every teacher has their own toolbox, and with their different tools in it. And a lot of technology was just another tool that you put in your toolbox. But for me, like the number one thing for being a for being a teacher that that got respect and got a really good feedback and got, I mean, what do you want? What's your objective as a teacher? You want your students to be engaged. You want them to feel comfortable and safe. You want them to feel secure about their own abilities, and you want to feel them to feel secure that they're going to learn something new. The Krashen's idea of input plus one. You offer your students a task or a project that's a little bit more difficult than what they're accustomed to doing, so that they can
Oh.
grow from the task, and so that they're not threatened by being overwhelmed. And so I think that in itself is the most important thing of what I saw in effective teaching, is just making sure that your students know that they're safe and that they're going to be working on projects that's just a little bit more difficult than the knowledge that they already have. And that's a lot more kind of like classroom management. And for me, and again, this is just my experience as a teacher, focused a lot on social and emotional intelligence and multiple intelligence theory. And so I think once the students feel secure about who they are and what you expect from them, then they're a lot more willing to do things. And so then technology was one tool that you could put in your toolbox. But for example, I think of some of the teachers that I worked with were brilliant. I mean, Nicole was a teacher who, her students would do anything for her. And she's gotten really good at technology, but at the time, some of us were really experimenting with technology, but she was really good at music and theater. And so she could get her students involved in doing lots of different things with music and theater. And then, there were other people who were really good at teaching writing, and there were other people who were really good at playing with pronunciation. So technology was just like another tool that you could use, and it's a really important tool, and it's a fantastically powerful tool. And it's an important tool partly because, most of us who are working in the teaching field now, although it's changing rapidly, we're digital immigrants. We're new to the whole digital world, and it's hard for us to learn this language. Whereas the kids that I was working with were digital natives. I mean, they all the time with a digital whiteboard, for example, I can't remember what it was called, the IWB, interactive whiteboard. Constantly, whenever it crashed, whenever I had a problem with a website, I would ask my 7-year-olds or my 14-year-olds, my students, I would say, help. I can't figure this out. And so they would help, and they would teach me what I needed to know the next time that happened, whatever it was that happened. So it completely changed the dynamic, the teacher-student dynamic in the classroom, so that my classrooms basically, not just mine, those are my colleagues as well, became very pedagogical, because the whole structure of hierarchy changed. I was no longer the authority who gave information and then asked people to give that information back to me. I was just someone who was an expert in the field of English, and that's the reason people were in my class, was to learn English as a foreign language. And that was my expertise. But then there were all these other things that we're learning, and technology was a big thing that everybody was learning, and I was not the expert in technology. And so I think one of the things that is important for me as a teacher is to realize that I'm not the authority on everything, and that what students learn from the class especially if you work with teenagers like I did, it's often not what you wanted them to learn. It's not what was on your lesson plan, because there are so many other things that are going on in the class. And sure, if you're working with the present perfect or something, and your students all really want to learn how it works, and that's a really complex verbal form that has lots of different meanings. And historically, it's got a really interesting kind of development to it, but it's not logical. And so, students struggle with that form probably more than all the others that I've run into. And so when you're teaching, for example, you're working on, let's just say, for example, the present perfect, your students will probably leave with a better idea of how it works, but they'll probably learn 10 million things that you hadn't even anticipated about language, maybe about the vocabulary, or about some sort of pronunciation rhythm, or about some cultural factor that comes up in the lesson. So given that, looking at technology, I kind of regard technology as a tool that teachers can use, and it's a very powerful tool, but it's not that, I don't know, I remember when I was teaching, you're just so overwhelmed with so much admin, and it's so exhausting that sometimes I would, people would say, oh, Karen, there's this workshop on this new tool, and I'd be like, I don't care, I mean, really, it'd be like, honestly, because between all of the parents' meetings and the administration and getting the reports in on time and doing the assessments and trying to teach, and I mean, it's really a demanding job. And and I'm really grateful for the technology that I learned how to use. I had two brilliant teachers who worked with us, Mike and Kyle, and they were just incredible teachers, and they were really good at technology. So I think patience is key, or it was for me, because I know, for example, with the IWBs, Mike used to teach this, I can't remember, oh, do you know the University of Cambridge exams for the kids, the flyers, I can't remember what they're called, the starters, the flyers, and the something else, and they're language exams.
It was a Cambridge project?
No, but I taught for the British Council, and we work with the University of Cambridge a lot. And so the 3 Cambridge exams, I can't remember, for kids, I can't remember what they're called. I remember one was flyers. But so Mike ran this program which was named after the kids' exams. And it was this 3-step program that you took. And I took that program like 5 times. And I used to always joke with Mike, like, you know, I'm never going to graduate from this because this stuff is really difficult for me. And I know that with technology, it just got to a point where, you know, no matter how willing, I mean, there are a lot of teachers who are really willing, and some teachers are like, and everybody has a different life. If you happen to have kids, then things are more difficult for you. If you happen to have elderly parents, things are more difficult for you. So I think different teachers took on aspects of technology in the classroom at different rates. Even though everybody's willing, but it's really hard as a teacher. You know, you really got a lot of juggling things in the air, and technology is another one. And I remember thinking like, I need to learn how to use this tool, and like I can't this week.
Yeah, that's right, because it's the word technology. It looked like it's just I don't know, big thing, something that we will never understand. But the teachers have to realize that they are using technology, educational technology, every day, even if they don't know.
Okay.
I mean, to know how to have a blog in class and how to use it, for example, that is just a big tool for let the student collaborate between each other. You know, and that's many exercises and work and that we are not going to talk about today. But they don't really know what blog is sometimes.
Well, yeah, I remember learning how, and I had a great teacher. Nikki Hockley was my teacher, and when I was trying to learn how to use a blog, and she was really patient with me. And I had a lot of other things going on in my life, and I couldn't concentrate on the blog. And I remember everybody else in the class was learning how to use the tool, which is a blog, a lot faster than I was, and I was really frustrated. And I learned a lot from my classmates, and I learned a lot from Nikki.
Yes.
But I'm still not great at it, you know. And I know it's a fantastic tool that's really useful, blogs and wikis, you know, really useful to use in class. But I think time is important, and it is important. You're right, it's a fantastically useful tool. What would you say are the greatest uses of a blog or a wiki in class? Like why do you think they're useful? What are your views on it? And I'm trying to learn here, so that's an honest question.
I'm not teaching you. What they can do in a blog, for example?
Yes.
Just okay. Well, not every class. Well, I think everyone has to use a blog. Perhaps you don't want to use a blog, but if you use it, you have to have a goal, you know, and because we can use it in different ways. For example, we take an article from that we have find and read, and things that other we can share with other.
Okay.
So we link it in the blog and make some comment about that article Oh, and
Mhm.
also to give the student, for example, give them uh, content
Okay.
the content in the blog, and then they can talk about what they have understand through the links that the teacher put or add in the blog,
Mhm.
and then in classroom just to talk and take decision and make some conclusion.
Mhm.
And see, and I can go on just using using my mind, and then say, well, we can use it this way, or or today we are not going to use it because it's not necessary. For
Right.
example, you
Mhm.
know, uh, yes, a blog, to share documents, for example, it's a great way to collaborate too. And most of my classes have almost no content.
Mhm.
I talk about concepts,
Mhm.
and then I add many different videos. That's half of them I agree with, and some other I don't agree with. So I have to teach them how to uh, not to be overwhelmed about all that information they have on the net, and
Mhm.
to figure it out, what special tools they can use for that special item, for
Right.
example. But
Right.
the teacher must know how to do it. They must know how to create content,
Right. Right.
because yeah, they do it well. They give a great speech to the student, because they are been doing talking about the same thing for 30 years, and they
Right.
don't want to change the way they
Right.
teach.
Right.
They
That
don't want
does
to get
happen.
out of their comfortable zone.
Right. Yeah, that does happen, and that is unfortunate. And
Yeah.
I know even me, when I was teaching, I did that too, at times, because the thing is that, well, it depends. And you kind of try to decide what you can and can't change. But that is a pretty chronic problem, and it's kind of difficult to decide exactly how to address that problem. I know when I was working in teacher training, I was working with teachers who were really willing to change, and their biggest struggle was dealing with teachers who were somewhat unwilling to change. So I realized that that is a significant problem, and I think the big problem for those of us who are willing to change and who see the importance of change is how can we motivate those who do not see the importance of change amongst our colleagues? How can we
Yeah,
motivate them to kind of get involved in looking at the importance of, this actually is key. I know that it's, you've
that's
been working.
that's my learning challenge these days.
Mhm.
These
Yeah,
days.
yeah. No, I
And
mean, I think I was very fortunate because I didn't run into that situation that frequently, but I am aware that it exists, and I don't have the answer to doing that. And so I guess what I've been doing is just sticking with those who do want to change, and
mhm,
looking. And pedagogy is one of those areas. I'm so grateful that I ran into Charlotte, and she introduced me to the
mhm.
um, pedagogy project, because it is just an incredible project. Um, and how is pedagogy? How do you see it? I'm curious because I'm kind of on a pedagogy phase right now. Um, what? How do you see peeragogy? Like, if I said to you, how would you describe peeragogy? What would you say?
Oh, the pedagogy, our group, or
In general, peeragogy
pedagogy.
in general. Yeah.
Well, yes. I think that with the years,
Mm-hmm.
with and with a lot of experience, on my back, I finally realized that to have other people's point of view about something, it's it will always be better, even if I don't agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I will love to have, different point of view, and also from not from teachers, but also with other professionals
Mm-hmm.
that need these skills. And so uh, that's the problem, the question, and the research
Mm-hmm.
that we have to do. Well, we have to do. And perhaps I will not find, I'll find no one that want to work with me in this project. If not, I will change it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will, I will have to run a project with uh, other people, and in a collaborative way. And I will love to you to. Did you see the course that I was designing for pedagogy?
Not yet. The last few weeks, my
No. This is from last year. I'm gonna send you an invitation to and a user and password to get into my school, and then you can see the way I teach, the way I design the the
Okay, I'll try
courses.
to. I'll try to. Right now, I'm really far. If I don't get to it soon, I'm really far behind on everything. I mean, I'm like flooded with emails, and I've got 3 people. I'm caretaking, so like running back and forth from the hospital with 3 different people in my life, and so I'm really, really busy with medical issues right now. So I'm really far behind on everything academic. So if I don't get to it, and this is like non-paying volunteer. So if I don't get to it soon, and then remind me again. Okay, it's not that I'm not interested.
No,
It's that
yes, yeah.
I'm
It doesn't
really
matter.
involved in health issues right now, not mine,
Yes,
luckily. But
and
so if I don't get to it, it's not that I'm not interested. It's just that it's not a massive priority. It sounds really interesting. I mean, it does sound really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm just kind of like, I don't want to commit, basically, and then let you down and have you be disappointed. But send it to me, and then send me reminders so that I don't forget. And because I am really curious as to what you're working on. And how long have you been working on this project?
oh well, no, it's just this. I just think about it in January.
Oh, in January, since January. Oh, wow. All right. That's great. That's cool.
Yes, because I have different projects, so when they are done, I just go to another, and so go on. And this project come out because uh, I'm studying educational technology at MIT.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and well, there are a lot of things that I already knew, or I invented myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that,
So wait, are you doing,
that I saw that they are teaching things that I have been doing without knowing
mm-hmm.
what it is, or that it has a name.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
called that way.
it's great to get to know the fact that you're actually, something. That's always a positive. So if I understand you correctly, you're doing a MOOC with MIT on
Yes.
educational technology. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. Well, I have a master's degree in on the e-learning and methodology, methodology, method,
Mythology?
method,
Methodology?
methodology.
Okay, what kind of methodology? What sort of methodology?
Uh, oh, I'm sorry, with the
Oh,
methodology.
wait, so your master's degree is in e-learning?
Yeah, I see, e-learning and ways to teach online.
Oh, I see. Oh, great.
Uh,
Wow,
uh,
fantastic.
Since I have been working teaching online for so many years, but I didn't have you know the piece of paper that say that I know
Mhm.
how to do that
Mhm.
thing. So I that's why I took the master. But I normally have my own personal learning and environment.
Mhm.
So from this course, I will pass to another Harvard course,
Mhm.
and I study just the things that I really know. I take those courses as a monograph course.
What do you
You
mean by a
understand me?
monograph?
Monographic is just one course about one things that you really want to specialize.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, that
You
sounds
know,
right.
yeah, I did with Fabricio and Federico. We did changing the global course of learning, for example,
Mhm.
at Stanford,
Oh, great.
and so yeah, and the thing is that in all the good courses, I find
Right.
Fabricio and Federico.
Wow. Great
They pass
minds.
by and say, "Hi, what are you doing?"
Wow, great. That's fantastic. That's um,
Yes.
that's really cool. And so you took the courses at Stanford as well. How long have you been taking these online courses?
Oh, for many, no,
Oh,
six
okay.
years,
I
6 years,
see.
or more. Yes,
Hmm.
but as I tell you, as my personal learning, because
Hmm.
I know that I have to go on learning all my life.
Yep, we all do. It's one of the
Even
nice things. Yeah.
Yeah, even if I'm not paid for it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I I I love to do it.
Curiosity is a wonderful thing. It really is.
Oh yes,
Okay,
that's
I've
right.
just, Julie, I've just noticed the time, so I'm gonna have to get going now. But it was great talking with you and learning a little bit about this project that you're working on.
Yeah,
And
but this project is not, it's just a draft.
yeah, yeah.
Raw. What I have in Google Doc is just raw material, things that I'm thinking and
Mhm.
adding and trying to structure a little bit the project, but that's it. So it's good to talk to you, and I'm sorry the other day because I was I did propose an item to talk last Monday,
Yeah, I
and
remember.
I didn't realize that you had proposed another one.
No, I
So
didn't.
I,
I
I didn't
didn't.
I didn't I didn't understand why you were insist in talking about that video when I was going to talk about, it
Wait,
was
talking about what video?
a misunderstanding.
Yeah, it must have been.
Last
I'm
last
not.
Monday. Last
Okay,
Monday.
wait. Last Monday. Oh, I see. Oh, I can't even remember what it was. Yeah, I noticed that Charlotte was kind of like changing. I'm sorry if I hijack things. I didn't mean to at all. I wasn't aware of what we were supposed to do. So
No,
I'll pay
no,
more attention today. I tried to focus on what you wanted to talk about. I thought it was
yes,
teaching teachers was what you wanted to talk about.
yes, and
So
that it's good to hear your own experience too. And the only one thing that I want to finish with is that
Mhm.
technology have been existing all our life,
Right, right.
and it is not a big thing, and we
Mhm.
don't have to do everything. We
Mhm.
just we have to learn things in a nice way,
Mhm.
in a very engaging and motivated way,
Mhm.
you know, to enhance their classes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and to do evaluation, for example, and thinking always in the student learning.
Right. Right.
you know I mean, they have to have feedback, and we have to have feedback from them, and we
Mhm.
have the tools. So let's do it.
Yeah, sounds great. It sounds great. Okay, and I apologize for not following.
No.
I went last week. I was unaware that you had already proposed something for last week. I thought you were proposing something for this week, so I was very confused last week. I wasn't sure what we were doing, and I was a little confused this week as well, but for another reason. Things have been a bit rushed, but okay, great. Well, great to talk with you, Julia. And I'm going to look at. I'll try to. I'll look now at the emails that you sent me because I'm here and I'll have a minute to do that. And then I'll get back to you about them. And that's really cool. It's great to talk to you.
Okay, let's see you on next Monday if it's possible.
Yeah,
I will go on writing things at the Google Doc.
Okay,
and,
sounds great.
And sharing with you all. Okay.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, I'll talk to you next week. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.